The first place the enemy gets us is in our boldness. You ever been through a relationship? And I'm going to talk about relationships today. You ever been through, anybody ever been through a breakup that you thought was going to take your life? Anybody? Anybody ever been through some of y'all lying like dogs? Everybody in this building, y'all lying like whole dogs. Y'all going to hell on a slip and slide. We've all been through those seasons or have been those relationships, right? That man, if it could have been a daddy, it could have been a mama, it could have been a spouse. All of a sudden they switched up on you overnight, right? And you're like, who are you? I had babies with you. You watch that baby come out and now you acting like a fool, right? And what the enemy does is the enemy begins to trap you in what happened. Because if the enemy can't take you out, he what? Huh? He wears you out. And he makes you feel like there's no way out, right? There's no way out for me to go get what God's called me to do. So we lose our boldness. And in life, in order for us to do anything great for God, it takes boldness. It takes boldness in your relationships. It takes healing and you need wholeness in your relationships, right? I hear people say all the time, I ain't got no friends. Like they proud of it. And I'm like, that is not good. Because relationships are how God elevates you. Every time that I've ever gotten anything in the spirit, Raphael, it was because I had great connections, right? Relationships matter. That's how come some of you can't get no leverage, because all your relationships are broken and like your past. You can't allow your past to come into your future. So you have to do inventory checks, right? You have to do inventory checks. And for this whole month, I've been talking about the first 2 weeks. I've been talking about Paradise Island. I've been talking about us being the Paradise Island. I've been talking about how the Bible says last week. We talked about last week and the week before. What did I talk to y'all about last week? Huh? Loving. Thank you, Liza. Loving God with all your heart, mind, and soul. That is a commandment. If you get that right, everything else falls into place. Right? You're not crabby. You're not mean. You're not trying to get the last word. I'm at an age in my life where I will okay you to death. I ain't going to try to right the wrong. You believe whatever you want to believe about me. Anybody else there? I mean it with all the love in the world, but I do not care what people think about me. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I'm loving the Lord, my God, with all my heart, mind, and soul. And every day when I get up, I'm spending time with God first. And I'm doing an inventory check. If I feel like I got up on the wrong side of the bed, that means I am not spending enough time with God, because you cannot be up and down when you are spending time with God. You hear me? You can't be messy and anointed. I'm going to slow down today because I really need this to sink in. You can't be messy and anointed, right? You got to have relationships. You got to have a tribe. That's why here at Limitless, we push community. Growing families, changing, what is it? What is it? Changing people, growing families. No. Huh? Yes! That! Growing people, connecting people, growing families, changing lives. I came up with it. I got it right the first service. I just got excited the second. But we're connecting people, growing families, and changing lives. And we are building with what do? We got connect groups. We got all these connect groups. You don't have to be in the building to be in the connect groups. Y'all going to eat together. Y'all doing vision boards together. Some of y'all introverts, some of y'all not introverts. Some of y'all like love people. Some of y'all don't love people. Some of y'all get on people's nerves. Some of y'all what. But it's because community matters. And that's the first place the enemy fights us, is in community. In this last year of my life, I've been very intentional about making sure my heart is right so that when people hurt my feelings, I don't take it personal. Because when you start taking things personal is when you get stuck. So I hope today when I'm preaching, y'all are doing inventory check. Because if every time you see that person in Kroger, you running, you got a problem. Well, they talking about me. So what? Hurt people. But heal people. You ain't got nothing to prove by having pride, except you're blocking your blessing over somebody that's messy. You couldn't walk away from the relationship, so God let the relationship walk away from you. And we stuck because they walked away from you. That heartbreak, that feeling rejection. You've been asking God why you let it happen. And God is saying, I had to break the covenant. I had to break the soul tie because you were going to settle for something less than I have for you. Rejection is God's protection. That even goes as children with dads. Some of y'all still got daddy issues because daddy walked out on you. And God is saying, I needed him to be a seed to get you here. But then by the time, if I would have let him stay with your mama, you would have been just like him. So I used him to get you here, and then I had to break the connection. Because where I'm taking you, they would have stopped what I want to do in your life. God never lets anything walk out of your life that was destined for your destiny. Nothing that you've ever lost. Y'all hear me? There's nothing in this world that you've ever lost that God said was part of your destiny. Because you can't lose what's yours. So you're stuck on what you've lost, and God is saying, I got 100 over here that's going to bless your tail. You're stuck because he left. I want to give you somebody that when you walk in the room, it's like, hello? You got that pitter patter, right? It's like Catherine and her husband. I love watching them because they really walk through bad relationships, terrible relationships. And now they found each other, and this dude loved this big old burly man right here. It's like a big old love teddy bear. Why? Because God allowed Catherine to walk through what she walked through, gave her a baby, but then said, I'm going to send you somewhere else because I know the destiny of this one. And their character can't keep up with where I'm taking you. There's going to be more headache in your life than blessing. So you're going to love so much, you're going to get caught up in that relationship and miss out on what I want you to do in your life. So I'm going to need you to cry 1,000,000 tears. Cry for 4 months. Eat you some Haagen-Dazs. Have it sent to your house every day. Do whatever you got to do, but don't go back. And one day you wake up and it's all gone. You hear me? God had to break it. You weren't rejected. God said, I hid your value. You weren't rejected. I hid your value from them because they were not assigned to your destiny. And here's what the enemy does. The enemy brings you into a new season where people love and honor you and accept you, and you won't let them close because you've never healed from what they did to you. And now you're walking through life living in the should-have, could-haves, and would-haves when you got to remember God never ordained anything that walked out of your life. So we stop. You see how we got in the way of God's plan? Our emotions, because we want to be loved, accepted, and valued. Right? Loved, accepted, and valued. And so what we do is we put up with things, people, places, and things that disrespect us, beat us, call us out of name, disrespect us, talk nasty about us. I think that's the hardest thing ever is when you're married to somebody and they talking nasty about you. God is not in chaos and confusion at any level. Your job is to get your heart right. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. Go get counseling, do whatever you got to do, but you got to stop staying stuck on silly. Because I don't know what to do. You knew what to do before them. You were just fine. You loved everything about yourself. Ain't it crazy how people fall in love with you or you get into friendships? This can go for any type of relationship. And the very thing that they fell in love with, they try to change. Ain't that crazy? Why? 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 Because the enemy knows that relationships, when there's something in you, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. But we pick up the weapon and use it on ourselves. When we allow people, God gave you red flags, and you're like, oh, I thought it was a carnival. Trying to build a bear, trying to fix them, And you're going to be real mad whenever you waste your whole life. You know what? I had to make up in my mind. I'm almost 50 years old in about 5 months. I made up in my mind that if I never, ever, ever get what my mom and daddy had, 52 years, I'm going to love Jesus. Why? I'm loving the Lord my God with all my heart, mind, and soul. And when you get this right, you ain't settling for bozo. You hear me? Because right when you walk into a room and that connection ain't there, you're like, oh, no. I'm holding my peace. I'm pumping the brake, boy. Boy, bye. I hear this all the time. Well, you know, there's not people anymore in this world that want to wait and have morals. They don't want to honor your morals. Bye. Because anybody that you're dating that wants to sleep with you has slept with every other person before you. But somebody that really wants to marry you, they're going to wait because they know that's their prize. So why would you settle for somebody that's going to bring chaos and confusion in your life? This is friendships too. It's the friendships that unless you go buy them Starbucks, they ain't going. They say, you want to go out on Friday night? And then all of a sudden, Friday night gets here, they didn't call you. And then you see all their pictures on social media, out with everybody else. And now you got that little feeling, oh, I was rejected. And you go back in your hole. No, you got to heal the areas inside of you. The pain may not be your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. You got to remember that relationships, I'm walking heavy, ain't I? I sure do love y'all. Relationships, when you get married, how many married people we got up in here? How many married people? We got a lot of singles. Good, y'all need to really be listening to me, singles. Because you're going to get married, and we need to make sure you stay married. Because I've been praying for some spouses up in here for y'all. But for you married folk, let me tell y'all something. Every single relationship is going to get boring. The longer you're together, it's going to be boring. Sometimes loving isn't a feeling. It's a commitment. It's saying you first. You first. When I get home, I know he can't stand to be on the phone, so I'm going to get off the phone. Right? I love this. Apostle Ramon makes me laugh so hard. Because Apostle Ramon is like a boss. Anybody knows Apostle Ramon? He is like got energy coming out of his pores, right? He is like all over social media. He like so cool, right? And he was going back and forth to Miami. And he was going to this class, and he's just a money mogul. And so he's up there, and he's in the middle of going to Miami and learning, and all of a sudden, we see him on social media, and I hear Mimi go, uh-oh. I said, what's up, Mimi? She goes, he's supposed to be getting on the plane in like 5 minutes. I said, well, he's going to miss it. She goes, that's not going to be good for him. I said, why? She said, his wife ain't going to put up with that. Sure enough, he ain't been back. But if you're not in a relationship where you honor and respect each other, right? You like, especially nowadays where women live, you know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna tell me nothing. Well, then don't be getting in a relationship. Because relationship is about honor and respect. Relationship is about, baby, you know what? My job as your wife is you cute. And if you can't even hold your commitment to get on that plane, then you ain't got no business being in Miami by yourself. Because I'm protecting you. Because you really ain't protecting yourself. Because if you knew what was good for you, you'd been in that bed with me tonight. But if he wouldn't have loved his wife like Christ loves the church, he'd been back there. You know he ain't. They've been married all of these years, but it's because they've got respect for each other. Right? You can't be calling your spouse out of name. I can't stand that at Walmart when the lady's letting her husband, he walking behind her like this. I want to go take my shoe off and go Medea on her. Where he won't act like a man because you won't let him. Right? Where he ain't showing me nothing because you won't let him. When you've got a good man that works, that loves you, that I don't care if he smells like a hamburger because he's been flipping hamburgers at McDonald's. He at least got a job, right? But what the enemy does through social media is the enemy will make you not love the people God brought you that loves the heck out of you. And when you're walking through a bad season and he's willing to go work and she's willing to go work 3 and 4 jobs, y'all are killing it. The enemy will then get in your mind from watching social media. He'll have you looking at social influencers. They're living in these mansions, and they're so cute and perfect. And then all of a sudden, you're scrolling, and she just had babies, and now she's already snatched again. And here she is showing her husband, and he looks like he stepped out of GQ, and yours looks like he stepped out of DQ, and y'all are mad. Right? So we're all of a sudden not liking our spouses. Or you're dating somebody that already showing you their colors. And you're over here like, look, I'm going to tell y'all something. If you're dating somebody and they ain't never come to church with you, I ain't talking about you, Val. They ain't never come, but I am in a minute. I'm going to give you about another week. I had to do that. He works a lot, but still. If he ain't, and he a good man, but if you dating some, I knew she was gonna think about that. That's why I had to say something, call her out. You know, if you're dating somebody that the last thing they think about is God, I don't care if they got 12 abs. You better run, because them 12 abs ain't gonna know how to pray for you. You better find somebody that loves the heck. It's attractive. But you got to know how to look at someone's fruit. Man, I'm meddling. Today we're going to look at how to get along with members of the opposite sex. You know, men and women are different, right? Men and women are different. If we look at Romans 12:9, I'm going to start there. Y'all ready for this? Don't just pretend to love others. Some of y'all gonna have to go home and make a picnic for your spouse. You've had him in the guest room for 6 months and he don't even know why he's in there. You better go home and have the fingertip anointing. Just act like you barely fall on him. Y'all, this is for all you singles too, because y'all gonna know how to do it. You hear me? Have that fingertip anointing. He been in that guest room, don't even know why he's up there. But you gained 12 pounds and now he's having to pay for it. You mad at everybody. When you get home today, you just accidentally just slide up against him. He'll be like, ah! Get little Jerry, that's 12, out of the middle of you and your husband, your wife. Y'all turn on some Barry White. Okay? It says, don't just pretend to love others. Really love them. Hate what is wrong. Hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. You can't fake love. You can't fake love, y'all. It is a genuine thing that if you don't know how to love and you don't have friends and you're all by yourself in this world, you got to get on your face and begin to ask God, God, help me know how to love. I remember I used to be so cold. If I would have died, nobody would even have a Facebook memorial page for me. Because I was so mean, because I was afraid that if I let people in my heart, they would hurt me. And when I realized that nobody would have come to my funeral, I started changing. But here's how I changed. I would get on my knees every day, and I would say, God, I want to love like you. I hate your people. I don't like your kids. I don't like your babies. I'm praying for a train to hit my ex. Because I know if a train hits him, Benny Hinn can't bring him back to life with his white coat. And I know that ain't right. So God, I need you to heal me. I did it every day. I was telling myself, girl, you're going to be healed. See, the reason we keep praying the same prayers is not because he forgets, but it's because we have to remind ourselves this is where I'm headed. I've been angry for so long. This is 36 years of me being angry. It's not going to change overnight. I got to get up one day at a time. When I fall, get back up again, right? And before I knew it, I was loving people. And I remember the first time somebody hurt my feelings, I was like, oh! Hold up. I said a little bit. I don't want to feel that much. And God said you wanted me to love. You wanted to love like me. And over time, I started watching me go from not loving God's children to now loving you as the favorite hobby of my life. Why? Because he shifts you. But he can't heal what you won't reveal. Good relationships happen because of the effort invested in making them good. If your relationships are a mess, it is because of the lack of effort to make them good. Good relationships require work. Dying to your flesh 1,000 times a day. Whenever you know you're right, I know I'm right. You can still walk in and say, I'm sorry. And not be like, I'm sorry. But you know, if you wouldn't have said no, I'm sorry. Right? Walking in that. Several reasons we don't have good relationships. You ready for this? And we don't have good relationship skills or this right here. Poor communication. How's your communication, y'all? Poor communication. Communication kills assumption. Unmet needs is another reason we can't keep relationships. Selfishness. Selfishness. Pride. And unexpected differences. God's word outlines several truths that if we will put them into practice, we will begin to experience peace and blessings in our homes, our jobs, etc. 1 Peter 3:7. Is this good? Are y'all cold? Somebody having a whole hot flash in here. Somebody needs we got hot flashes on one side, cold on the other side. That's all right, we'll just turn it off. 1 Peter 3:7. Because I need y'all to listen, because this is good, ain't it? 1 Peter 3:7. In the same way, your husbands must give honor to your wives. Treat your wife with understanding as you live together. She may be weaker than you are. I ain't weak. I heard somebody say that. Don't you? She may be weaker than you are, but she is your equal partner in God. She's your gift. What'd you say? What'd you say, boo? I heard you. That was good, though. She may be weaker than you are, but she is your equal partner in God's gift to your life. Treat her as you should so your prayers will not be hindered. But ladies, in order for him to do this, you can't be Corella DeVille. Now, sometimes there's just some bad apples. Sometimes there's just some jokers or some women out there, they Delilahs, look. Sometimes they just bad. You got to chalk it up. Time's just going to get better and not bitter and move on, right? But you've got to work at these relationships. Let me tell you what women want. Y'all want to hear what women want? Husbands, men, dating. Y'all ready for this? Women want to be loved. Women want to be loved. That's why women, young and old, sometimes find love in the wrong places. Because you attract what you are and not what you want. We want to be loved. We want to be heard. That's why we need best friends. Because he is not your best friend when it comes to hearing your every detail. Right? That's what causes arguments, is I need you to hear every detail. Men don't want to hear all of it. He just wants to know you good. Right? You good, boo? You fine. He don't want to hear about how you turn right on Magnolia Avenue. He don't want to know how your girlfriend showed out on the job. Well, he should. No, he shouldn't. He's trying to figure out how he can take care of you and the family, okay? Because men were created to conquer. All right? Men were created to conquer. Women love naturally, therefore it's natural for us to crave love for ourselves. Because love does come natural for us, it's easy for us to take for granted that it's not as natural for our boys and men to love us the way we need to be loved. They ain't you. That's why whenever the baby comes out of you, you love them. But he like, I ain't holding him. You're like, well, why don't you love him? Like, I love him. Because he didn't birth him. It's in you. Give the dude a chance. Right? Y'all don't like this. When we argue as women, this is for you men. When we argue and women aren't particularly lovable every 28 days. Thank you, Eve. Every 28 days, y'all like, I'm going golfing. Right? She like, ah. When we argue and we're not particularly lovable, she still wants you to touch her and show her how much love you have for her. Well, man, every time I try to touch her, she bites my head off. But she won't. Bring her chocolate. Have her a PMS basket. You're welcome, men. When you start feeling her mood swing, have her this care package with some chocolate. Huh? Ice cream. Huh? Money. Yes. Listen what Paul says in Ephesians 5:33. He says, so again I say, each man must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. Now, I'm not saying that the men don't have to respect their wife. He got to respect you too. God does not expect you to stay in a relationship with somebody that's beating you. You hear me? I don't care what nobody's ever told you. God does not expect you to be in a relationship with a woman that is yelling at you and screaming at you and calling you out of your name. You hear me? That is not the way God created it. Y'all need counseling. This is not Pastor Kim telling you to go serve divorce papers. When you've made a covenant, you got to make a covenant and fight, right? Listen to men. Here's what men need. Y'all ready for this? Women, y'all ready? Say, I'm ready. Men need to be honored, to regard or treat with respect. A man would rather be alone than feel inadequate. Y'all know y'all want to dip so bad. Some of you women here are like, Ephesians 5:21-22 says, and further submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. For wives, this means submit to your husband as unto the Lord. And then Ephesians 5:21-22 in the message says, out of respect for Christ, be courteously reverent to one another. Wives, understand and support your husbands, and husbands do the same. Yep. Tit for tat, ain't it? Proverbs 31:28. What does it mean to understand and support each other? Proverbs 31:28-29 says, her children stand and bless her. Husbands, if you're calling your wife out of names, your kids are going to do the same. You're teaching your children how to honor that woman in your life. That's why y'all got to be careful. Some of y'all staying in relationships and killing each other, and your kids are thinking it's appropriate to treat each other that way. That is not of God. You are raising up the next president. You're raising up the next family. You're raising up the next dad, the next mom. I always tell my kids this. When you begin to date somebody, date with a purpose. Right? And then you got to ask yourself this. Would I want my kids to have kids that act just like that person? That's deep. Here's what else women want to feel. We want to feel special. We want to feel special. Women, for the most part, don't need a real special occasion in every situation. That's why you hear sometimes Valentine's Day, someone's like, I got Valentine's Day all the time. Y'all roll your eyes. You're like, ugh. But some people do. That's how great marriages stay awesome, is they honor and respect each other and bring gifts and write with lipstick on the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, it's real hard to get the love going back again once you've let it go. But do it. Die to your flesh and try it. Turn on Barry White. Turn on Lionel Richie. Turn on Aretha Franklin. Right? Blare it. Put the kids in bed and say, if you come out of this room while we're having prayer time, hello? Is it me or... Women, for the most part, I got 5 minutes. Women, for the most part, will be thankful for less special moments if those moments are really about her. Think. Put some effort in. Women are complex and men are simple. That's the truth. Most women are so much better at knowing her place or celebrating others. Some of y'all didn't get nothing for Valentine's Day, ladies. You got exactly what you told him you wanted. Nothing. And now he in the guest room because you got nothing. Because you told him you want nothing. Right? We got to vocalize what we need. The delivery matters. Make it simple. Don't get bitter. Don't get mad and resentful. Write it on the mirror. Baby, tomorrow is my birthday. I want an orange box. 7 days is our anniversary. Get your mama to keep the kids, if you know what I mean. The next day, 6 days until our anniversary. Don't get mad because he can't remember. Men can't remember nothing. Men need, listen to this and I'm done. Men need to be the pace setter. Generation where we've gone from father knows best and leave it to Beaver to Married with Children to the Simpsons. From the book of Genesis on, the Bible clearly calls for men to take the responsibility of leadership in the earth. He calls us to lead by example, not through domination. Y'all, I am a very strong woman. But I'm telling y'all something. When a man is in his place, alpha females will kiss your behind. You hear me? Whenever you are walking in your role, man of God, submission is not you gonna tell me I can't have a Diet Coke. It's when a man is in his place and loves you, a woman will do whatever you want and vice versa. You can play. Y'all ain't gotta tell him a million times. The trash, the trash, the trash, the trash. And now you're slamming cabinets and stomping around the house. All you got to do when he's a good man, baby, you are the sexiest trash can taker out I have ever seen in my life. Delivery. This is why you got to get healed, so you don't walk through life bleeding on people that didn't cut you. People would love to have your lazy husband. Well, he don't put the socks in the hamper. All you got to do is bend down. Really? Y'all sleeping back to back because of that? Well, he don't put the lid down. All you got to do is look behind you. Right? Husbands, she stays at home and takes care of your children. That is one of the hardest jobs on the planet. Because your kids act like you. You tired, she tired, we all tired. Stop spending money at Starbucks and get you a babysitter. I don't leave my kids with nobody. You need to, because y'all need work. Walking into relationships, singles. God created us for relationships. And whenever you've not been in a good one, it's hard to ever see yourself walking in anything I just said. What if I love again and they cheat on me? What if they don't? What if you're missing out on something because of what happened to you as a child? The pain may not be your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. Right? Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing. Ain't nothing like the real thing, babe. I'm off. We don't have a whole lot of good examples, but you're going to be the shifter. When I had my kids, I had no book telling me how to raise my kids. When you get married, when you're in relationships, when you have friendships, just learn to die to yourself every day and you'll be walking right. Loving the Lord your God with all your heart. Y'all got to remember, wives, being a leader is hard. He got a lot of pressure on him. Leadership takes courage. And he was taught big boys don't cry. If you can birth a baby, you can birth life in that man. If you don't like what he's doing, love the hell out of him. This is for the good men. I ain't talking about the men that beating on you now. Don't you get it twisted. I'm talking about those men that don't know how to please you because it ain't never right. They can't never do nothing right. Today, shift the narrative. 1 Peter 5:11 out of the Amplified said, not domineering over those in your charge, but being examples. I watched a marriage that was going to hell in a handbasket. Literally, I thought it was over. They separated for 4 months. And I kept telling this person, don't throw in the towel. Sometimes separation is all you need to realize it's all you want was each other. Because sometimes y'all don't really realize how much you love each other until you ain't got each other. They kept saying, nope, I ain't doing it, I ain't doing it, I ain't doing it. And I kept praying. I'd go over to their house and pray over their house. Because the enemy fought my relationship. And I know it's because I have an anointing for relationships. Within 24 hours, God shifted that marriage and they're doing phenomenal. Let me tell you why. Because God can do anything but fail. If it's failing, it's because you in the way. Women, we want to feel secure. The definition for secure is free from or not exposed to danger or harm. Dependable. A support for us. One of our jobs as women is to set our own goals that line up with God's will and purpose for our lives before we ever connect with the man that God has for us. If you're walking around saying, I need a man that can handle me, there ain't no man that can handle you. Because if he needs to handle you, that means you ain't peace. And women, we birth life. We can bring in peace. That's why we can walk through a divorce and get right back up again and grieve and cry. But go in the broccoli aisle and still be cooking supper. But our heart posture has to stay right. Our heart posture, real security. It's nice to have nice clothes and him to bring you gifts. But there ain't nothing like when you're walking through something and being able to lay back in his arms. Right? Wait on that, singles. You know it's the right one when you ain't got to ask, is it the right one? How do I know if this is the right one, Kim? He ain't the right one if you got to ask me. Because obviously something gave you red flags to make you ask, is he the right one or is she the right one? There ain't nothing in this world marrying Satan and having to pretend you're happy. Get healed. What if I'm already in a relationship like that, Kim? What if it's hell? Pray. Psalms 46:10 said, be still and know that I am God. Pray. And say, God, if this ain't never gonna change, give me a way of escape. But I'm standing strong, and I'm gonna do my part, and I'm gonna work hard, and I'm gonna love the unlovable, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But I'm gonna walk into Paradise Island because I'm the CEO of my life. Women need to feel safe, need to be secure. And guess what? It's not our spouse's job to complete us. It's our job to know who we are in the first place. Then that one whom God will send us or has already sent us just compliments us. You're not waiting for your other half, your whole. You're waiting for your other whole. Real security is found in Christ, ladies, gentlemen. There's no greater joy than seeing that you have played a role in making someone else's life thrive. So my question to you today is, what do you need to forgive? Just simply saying, man, I'm sorry. Right? I'm sorry, man. Some of y'all need to make some decisions. You need to make some hard decisions today. Some of y'all been fighting a dead end road. Others of y'all need to get your mouth in order, and in 30 days, your Boaz or Ruth will come. Because if God gave you a desire and you're not married yet, you're 50, then there's something in you that keeps being a repellent. Because God's not a sight kind of God. Right? So here's your homework this week. Are y'all ready for this? Your homework this week is to die to your flesh. Is that good? To die to your flesh and say, God, where I am is where I'm supposed to be, or I wouldn't be here. So there has to be a lesson in this. Help me get the lesson and make me better. You may be walking through a divorce right now, y'all. It's not the end of the road for you. Stop living in the should've, could'ves, and would've. Divorce is not the end of your life. It's a chance to do over and do better. It's not to jump in another relationship so you can heal from that one. Put a do not disturb up on your heart and let your tail heal. So you quit attracting the same people with different faces. Proverbs 31:26, you can stand. Did y'all get anything out of this? Y'all sure are quiet. Proverbs 31:26 says, when she speaks, she has something worthwhile saying, and she says it kindly. Women, we just want to feel understood. Men, you should know up front that when we ask you a question like, how was your day? You just set yourself up to hear everything about us. You don't want to hear all about it? Just say, baby, you look so hot today. I'm so glad. You look like you had the best day ever, because you sure looking fine at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Change your delivery. Women, we want to be understood. Men want support. Women want to feel important. Men want to be admired. In every area. We learned today that good relationships are no accident. In order for us to live on Paradise Island, it starts in your house. When you do what God tells you to do, everything else falls into place. So here's what my prayer is going to be. Can I get my prayer team up here? If you're in this room today and you're struggling with anger, hurt, betrayal, unforgiveness. Y'all, we gotta let go so that we can walk in the abundance that God has for us. I always tell y'all this: thieves don't rob empty vaults. The enemy is not after you because you're weak. He's after you because you're strong. And until you heal whatever's going on in here, you will never get ahead. You gotta get so free. You can't live by what they said about you. You gotta live what God knows about you. He says, you're my chosen. You're the apple of God's eye. Everything you've walked through, God already knew it, and He's got plans to bring you into a best-selling book series. But you just gotta get up and get out of your way. I just need somebody to give me that push this morning. That's what she's saying. She's saying, man, I come to the end of myself. Falling in love. If you need somebody just to wrap their arms around you, you need somebody just to help heal your heart. One will put 1,000 to flight, two will put 10,000 to flight. Our prayer team is down here to put their arms around you today and tell you it's going to be all right. Because if you walked into Limitless or you're watching this replay, God is saying to you today, this is the moment where your bad meets His good. And I shift things. So, Father, we thank you. Do you feel it? You got to let it go. Come on, just breathe. Breathe in. Just exhale. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. I'm letting go of those issues. Some of y'all need to forgive yourself. I had to forgive myself. Because a lot of times our behavior comes from things our parents did to us. And we don't even realize we're carrying the cycle, but God can break that today. And let me just tell you what God does, y'all. God literally, He says in Joel 2:25 that He gives you back everything the devil has stolen. You know what that means? Things that you carry from childhood, that when you finally let it go, He then comes on the scene and He begins to redeem time. At 40 years old, I finally got it together. And in the last 9 years, look what God's done in my life. He's done more in my life in 9 years than I could have done in 40. Because He restores. But you just got to surrender. I feel protected. Come on.
There is no place
God, I forgive. Here's what the Lord just told me. He's giving some of y'all direction. There's somebody in here in a very, very, very bad marriage. It's not a good situation. You've been scared. God is about to give you direction. He's about to give you clarity. God's healing marriages in this room. Somebody's going to go home today and your relationship's going to be completely shifted. You hear me? There's somebody today that God just showed me that you walked through a death. And y'all were in a fight when the death happened. And you've never allowed yourself to move forward because you beat yourself up for that. God said, let it go. This can be with your mama. This can be with your daddy. This can be in a husband-wife relationship. This can be a daddy you never met or you did meet. You can't hold on to stuff. You got to know that God's going to bring it full circle. He's going to heal it. He's going to use it. He's healing daddy issues all across the world right now. Mama issues. All right, y'all ready? Y'all feel good? Does everybody in this room know who Jesus is? Y'all do know those tears coming down your face is safety. It's a safety valve of the heart. A lot of times when we're broken and we walk through just feeling hardened because we just feel like we just keep getting dropped. We just feel like we keep getting dropped, man. Nobody's ever fought for us. I get it. God's going to bring somebody that's going to fight for you. But you got to be available for that. But those tears, they're the safety valve of the heart. If you can't cry, your heart gets hardened. And that's what breaks up the relationships in your future. So today, it's okay to cry. It's okay to let it go. It's okay to have a meltdown. Just don't stay down. Y'all, we don't always got to be having it together. I don't hurt ever. Yes, you do. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to have a meltdown. It's okay to not have it together. Sir, it's okay to tell your wife, I need prayer. Right? Get in a connect group in this church. Get you a community so we can have your back. All right?